It became clear to me months ago that we were headed for a good old-fashioned summer showdown at the movies. Marvel and DC dropping massive tentpole movies just weeks apart? That's nerd war territory, friend. Now, I'm not a big fan of nerd wars, Twitter has enough casualties already, but I'll admit I was curious to see who would come out on top. I don't care which movie makes more money exactly, I just care which one is better. Superman and the Fantastic Four are actually pretty similar in terms of their cultural footprint. They were essential to building the massive comic book empires of Marvel and DC, but a lot of people today think they're kind of old news. You'll hear a lot of folks call the FF boring or not interesting without having ever bothered to read one of their comics. But to be fair, their track record on the big screen hasn't exactly helped. I used to say that the best Fantastic Four movie was actually the unreleased Roger Corman version from the 90s, and that's mostly because the other options were the meh Tim Story duology or whatever the hell Fant 4 stick was. Has that finally changed with Fantastic Four First Steps? Let's find out, starting off with the plot. Reed Richards, Sue Storm, Johnny Storm, and Ben Grimm are 4 astronauts who got zapped by a mysterious cosmic radiation during a mission in space. That radiation mutated them and boom, the Fantastic Four were born. But this movie doesn't dwell on the origin story. We pick up 4 years into their careers as heroes. They have defeated countless supervillains, saved the world a couple of times, and are basically international celebrities. Everything's going smoothly until the Silver Surfer shows up. She's the Herald of Galactus, a godlike alien who eats planets for breakfast. Earth is next on the menu, and the only ones who can stop him are the Fantastic Four. Wait, you're probably saying, what do you mean they're the only ones? What about the Avengers? Yeah, there are no Avengers. This is an alternate universe Marvel story set in a super high-tech version of the 1960s. Mr. Fantastic's genius has given this world flying police cars, cassette-powered robot helpers, and a full-on retro-futurist aesthetic. If you hate that style, sorry, but I loved it. Ever since the trailers dropped, I was hyped for the look, and the final product delivers. There are space sequences in this movie that just look stunning, the kind that demand a big theater screen, if you know what I mean. Oh, and the soundtrack? Holy crap, a Marvel movie with a memorable theme song. Can you believe it? The MCU has like a billion movies, and only really the Avengers theme and maybe the Captain America theme really stuck in my head. But here, Michael Giacchino delivers a banger of a score, and the director actually knows how to use it. But First Steps isn't just pretty to look at. It's got heart and drama, and it takes its characters seriously. No endless quips to undercut the stakes, no haha, nothing matters, isn't all of this stupid Marvel humor. It's not 2001: A Space Odyssey, but it's refreshingly earnest. Speaking of which, let's talk about the characters. Reed Richards, aka Mr. Fantastic, is the team's leader, and his biggest strength is also his biggest flaw, his brain. He's constantly thinking 10 steps ahead, which is great for inventing life-saving tech, but it also makes him obsessive and self-critical. If he's not fully prepared for every possible disaster, he spirals into guilt and self-doubt. The way Reed is portrayed here is more or less a direct translation of his portrayal in comics for the past 20 years, maybe even more? Pedro Pascal plays Reed here, and yeah, he's in everything these days, but he is a solid actor. Does he particularly look like Reed Richards? Not really. For my money, the 2 best casting choices for Reed would have been either David Tennant or Matt Smith, but no use crying over what could have been, right? Pascal pulls off the part. One section that didn't make a whole lot of sense to me is when Reed proposes a plan with a supposed 98% chance of success, but really it feels like it would have about a 2% chance of success, but when your superpower is stretching, I guess logic stretches too. If Reed is the team's dad, then Sue Storm, the Invisible Woman, is the mom. There was a lot of concern about how Sue would be portrayed here, and not for nothing. Hollywood has a bad habit of writing strong female characters as these joyless, abrasive jerks. But this Sue is nothing like that. She's nurturing, fiercely protective, and proud of the role she plays in holding her family together. She doesn't resent being the mom, she embraces it. She's the team's emotional core, showing vulnerability without ever being weak. The movie doesn't make her steal the spotlight either. She's powerful, but she doesn't dominate scenes just because she's the woman of the team. And when she does step up, like in a standout scene where she confronts Galactus, it feels earned. Vanessa Kirby absolutely nails it. It also helps that she's a beautiful woman, I'm not gonna lie. Johnny Storm, the Human Torch, has often been treated as an afterthought, the hot-headed comic relief. And honestly, in weaker FF stories, that's about all he is, but First Steps gives Johnny way more to do. He's integral to the plot and his arc is genuinely satisfying. The movie still lets him be Johnny, the cocky younger brother who loves being famous and adored, but it also gives him moments of growth. He's not just the guy who shouts "Flame on" and blasts bad guys. He's someone who has to step up when things get serious. Joseph Quinn balances the humor and drama nicely, and the levity he brings never feels like it's undercutting the stakes. Unfortunately, Ben Grimm doesn't get quite the same treatment. He's not bad, Eben Moss Bachrach brings a lot of warmth and strength to the role, but he doesn't get as much screen time or emotional development as he deserves. The Thing is arguably the most human member of the team, yet his appearance makes him look like an alien. Ben's struggle with his appearance is one of the richest aspects of the character, and here it's barely touched on. He's just another New Yorker, which, okay, it's charming in its own right and it makes sense given the context, but they still could have explored his own self-doubt. Supposedly, about 30 minutes got cut from this movie, and I'm betting a lot of that was Ben. The Thing is one of my top 5 Marvel characters ever, so it's a real shame that he's underused in this movie. Disappointing, especially for fans of the old blue-eyed Thing, but it's not a deal breaker. On the villain side, we got the Silver Surfer, but it's the Shalabal version instead of the more well-known Norrin Radd version. In the movie, it's fine, okay? Julia Garner, the actress, does a good job with the material, and the Surfer even gets a nice emotional beat or two. Did it absolutely need to be this version of the character? Not at all. You could have used the male version of the Surfer and the script would have stayed like 99% identical, except now you have one more fan-favorite character. My best guess is they just changed it for variety's sake, since the previous 2007 movie Rise of the Silver Surfer used the Norrin Radd version, but I don't get it. I'm not happy with the choice, being a fan of Norrin Radd, but again, the character works fine in the movie itself. But if I have to keep putting asterisks next to me saying I like the Silver Surfer here, there ain't no caveats when talking about the big guy. Galactus is perfect in this movie. I mean it. If you don't like the portrayal of the character here, I'm convinced you just hate Joy. He's a force of nature, destruction incarnate, and the movie treats him with the reverence he deserves. The Fantastic Four never realistically think they can even defeat him. They're just trying to get as far away as possible from the guy. Ralph Ineson's absolutely flawless casting. He looks great. I have zero complaints about Galactus. This movie clearly respects the Fantastic Four's legacy, and it damn well better. The original Lee Kirby run on Fantastic Four is what put Marvel on the map in the first place. No FF, no MCU. Simple as that. And the writers and directors seem to realize that and pay their tributes to Marvel's history. The ship the FF takes is called the Excelsior, there's a Timely Comics Easter egg in the background. All those touches show care, and it pays off. First Steps is the best Marvel movie since Infinity War. Yes, it's better than Endgame, better than No Way Home, better than Deadpool and Wolverine, better than Superman, and yes, it is the best Fantastic Four movie ever made. Now, is it perfect? No. It has some logical hiccups. If you're a fan of certain characters, you might be disappointed with the way they're handled, and sometimes it just feels like a sequel to a movie we didn't get, but it's a Fantastic Four movie that really feels like the comics. If Stan Lee and Jack Kirby were here, I think they would give it a thumbs up, and that's just about the biggest praise I can give this movie. This is the end of the spoiler-free section. Go away now if you don't want spoilers. Alright, spoilers in 3, 2, 1. Let me gush about Galactus a bit more, if that's okay. The scene where they first see him is so freaking cool. Like, the way he's portrayed in this movie is the way I wanted to see him portrayed back when I was a teenager. And I'm so happy they took him seriously here. You can just imagine a worse writer would have made fun of the helmet, or the name, or made any number of eye-rolling, cringe-inducing jokes, but not here. Galactus is treated as horrifyingly powerful, and a force to be reckoned with. Easily my favorite part of the movie. Oh, and speaking of that whole section, that chase scene through space was something else, wasn't it? Looked pretty as hell, and you can tell they really thought about it, with the lasers bending because of space-time and time dilation near the neutron star. It was super neat. Now to something that's not as neat. Reed's plan of teleporting the Earth is... okay, first I would imagine, even for the smartest man alive, it would take several months of research to find another solar system that is similar enough to ours. Because if it isn't, there's about 1 million different ways that this could result in literally the whole planet dying instantaneously, even if the teleportation works. I also don't know if all the governments of Earth would be okay with just working together like that, but I guess I can put that down to the movie's more optimistic tone. And I can also see that once we got past the whole should we sacrifice this innocent child to the evil space god debate, any plan anybody came up with would be desperate and therefore not entirely airtight. Like I said, it doesn't break logic, but it's a stretch. Huh, get it? Stretch? Yeah, I'll see myself out. About the innocent child, it's cool that they acknowledge just how insanely, scarily powerful Franklin is. Galactus sees in him a worthy heir to his throne, and is willing to give up the entire planet just to put his football field-sized hands on the little guy. I loved how motherly Sue was portrayed here. She snaps at people, she gets angry, but you know all of that is coming from a place of concern for her son. It's what made me feel like she's not an annoying girl boss. That motherly side is also what made me not question her big blowout against Galactus in the end. Like, yeah, okay, she manages to make the big god alien stumble, but she's a mother attempting to protect her child. In real life, parents often report having these intense surges of strength when they think their children are in danger, and to me, it's totally believable that Sue would go through something similar, giving her just enough of an edge against Galactus to push him into the teleportation chamber. And besides, she even gets help from the Silver Surfer. It's also not a freebie. She legit dies from all the effort, and only Franklin is able to bring her back with his overpowered godchild abilities. Johnny being the one to translate the Silver Surfer's language was a nice, unexpected plot development. The writers put some respect on my boy's name, kudos for that. But man, it sucks that Ben didn't get to do more, but his big ass "it's clobbering time" moment was cool though. I got little to say about everybody else. It's cool that Stingray from Cobra Kai is playing Mole Man, he was actually my fan cast for the role. Post credits is a Dr. Doom tease, which, you know, I like Doom, I just don't know about RDJ playing him. I also don't know if I'm excited about Doomsday or Secret Wars because I don't know if the writing will be that good, but let's see. I'm officially actually getting kind of hopeful for the future of the MCU, especially hearing that they might be rebooting things and getting rid of some of those questionable ideas they've had in phases 4 and 5. So yeah, those are my thoughts on Fantastic Four First Steps. What about you? Did you see it? Did you love it? Think I'm way off? Let me know in the comments. And hey, if you've made it this far, please like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time with an opinion piece. You see, both Superman and Fantastic Four got me thinking that we might be seeing the death of the superhero origin story movie. But is that a good thing? Let's talk about it in the next video.